right, welcome everybody to this edition of O365A. On tonight's episode, we're going to be talking with Athar Naqi. He's the head of sales for North America for Evercom Communication Solutions. Welcome, Naqi. Nice to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me for the session.
So we're starting to get do more sessions with device vendors and call quality, call accounting. Why don't you just take us a little, give us a little introduction with Evercom Communication Solutions, what you offer for Microsoft Teams, and a little bit about yourself.
Sounds good. Yeah, so let me just kind of give you a quick overview on Evercom. Evercom is actually headquartered out of Brussels. They've been in business for about 38 years, primarily in unified communications. And that's all they do. Primary bread and butter is UC. We do have a global presence, especially in Europe and Africa, and now, of course, we are growing strong in North America. We actually have partnerships with all the major technology suppliers, including Microsoft and Zoom and Cisco's of the world. But we focus a lot on Microsoft with Microsoft Teams, and we integrate their products, and especially call graph flows into our APIs, and we'll be glad to show you what we do. So I joined them back in November as an advisory role to head of sales. And I have a strong background in communications. I've worked for many telcos, including AT&T, as well as I was head of sales for Wipro in the past as well. So that's kind of background and overview. In terms of the product is called MoYoBi, MoYoBi, Mind Your Business Intelligence, and I'll be glad to show you a quick demo as well. And what MoYoBi does is it actually fills the white space that is Microsoft Teams is not filling today. So there's a lot of data coming in from Microsoft Teams, and MoYoBi does a very good job of taking this data and displaying it to the users, to the business community, so they can actually see what's going on in their calling environment. So we are actually taking the CDR record and displaying it into a more organized fashion, and definitely using a lot of AI to make some inferences, to make some results wherever the gaps may be. I'll take a pause, see if any questions.
Well, one quick question is, how many products for Teams does Evercom have? Is like I've seen call accounting and the monitoring the call analytics. Are they separate, or are they all sort of one product with different modules?
But that's a very good point. It's actually one product. It all depends on what customers would like to use. So some customers would like to just use for call analysis and call monitoring. Some would like to use queue analysis and queue monitoring, so that can be an add-on, or we just have to turn the feature on, as well as queue management, which was released back in February of this year. We also offered call queue management, but not everybody wants to use it. So, it's an optional feature that customers can subscribe to, but it's all under one umbrella. It's just a matter of turning the features on and off.
All right. And I was going to ask this later, but I'll ask it now. Is it all in the cloud-based, on-prem, hybrid?
That's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked that. So we are all cloud. It's a SaaS environment, but we do also have some customers, especially in the European market, and I cannot say their name, top secret. For them, we are using MS Team in their on-premise environment. These are agencies with three-letter acronyms. So anyway, so they are using Teams, but it's all in their environment. So yes, our product can be used both on-premise as well as in the cloud. But with our commercial customers, we are mainly focused in the cloud environment.
Got it. All right. Habib, any questions from you?
Not yet. I'd like to actually, maybe Naqi, you can give us a demo of your product, and that'll spur some of the questions.
Sure, definitely. So let me see if I can share my screen. Just give me 1 second. And if I may be looking away from the camera, it could be because I got two different monitors at my desk, so I apologize.
Oh, nice.
But anyway, I'll do my best to look into the camera while I'm talking somewhere else. All right. So can you see my screen now? I'll
Looks
move
good.
the video. Perfect. All right. So, so when somebody, let me actually just start with a new screen. That'll probably be better. If I log into MoYoBi, this is a typical login screen for everybody gets, and tell you all the data and stuff. Everything is customizable. You can either use European standard or American standard in terms of date and time. Everything is very user friendly as well. So I've created some dashboard. It's kind of giving you right now some basic highlights here in terms of inbound, outbound call, internal, external. So I can turn it on and off. For example, if I don't want to see the outbound calls, if I only want to see internal, which is just teams to teams, I can see them as well. Or I can say I don't want internal. I just want to see the inbound call and the outbound call. And then you can see, there's some graphics and the call load. So let me walk you through some of the dashboards that I have created. So again, as you can see, we are using call graph APIs. All the information that Microsoft makes available, we actually kind of go through the painful programming of taking all this information and making it part of our product set. So we are eating our own dog food. These are all my colleagues, right? You can see on the screen. Most of them are gone for the day. Anyway, so this information is coming from Teams, so we are displaying it as part of the banner. Again, it's as part of the configuration, you can decide what you want to show or not. You can see a number of users here, how many are available right now. Actually, nobody's working. It's a little bit later in the day. And it kind of gives you the call queue summary in terms of how many call came into the system, answered, overflow, missed, or whatnot. Again, all this information is coming from Microsoft Teams as part of CDR, but there's not a easy way to display it so people can make a good sense out of it. Again, you can actually also see the user overview in terms of how many users are on the system, if they're offline, away or not. One of the things we kind of emphasize on is kind of best practices is to kind of opt in when you come into the morning or when you're taking the calls. If you opt in and opt out using Teams feature, that kind of helps in seeing who is actually available and who can receive the call. And we can either use a round robin fashion or based on some priority, the call can be assigned. Again, these are a number of queues in our system, and you can see if there are any criticalities or whatnot. If there are critical threshold being achieved, then of course you can get a text message, you can get an email that can be sent to you. I'll take a pause to see if any questions so far.
Yeah, I have. I guess the first question I have is sort of what is the licensing model for the product?
Sure, that's a very good question. So unlike our competition, we don't license based on number of users. We are purely licensing it based on call queues and auto attendance. So based on number of call queues in your system, that's how we price. So, and again, it's a kind of curve model. So of course, more the queues, the price gets cheaper, and so on. But it's purely based on subscription base, and it's purely based on number of call queues in your system.
So is it just call queues, or is it call queues and auto attendance, or is it just
call queues and auto attendance? Right.
Okay, so then is it just like I purchase a number and then I can basically, if I have maybe a 50 licenses, I can have 25 call queues, 25 auto attendants, or is it based on the actual amount of auto attendants or call queues that are in the system?
It will be based on number of call queues and auto attendant.
Okay, very good. And then just a follow-up question. With regards to load, so what is the sort of like the high end or max size load that you can handle for like call queues and auto attendants if there's organizations that have larger scale numbers?
That's a very good point. So I do have some customers which have more than 10,000 call queues, and system is handling that beautifully. I mean, we have not seen any issues, no performance degradation or anything like that. So either you have one call queue or even 10,000, it works the same seamlessly for customers. And it's all hosted on the cloud as it's distributed environment.
Naqi, just a quick question. this status that you show here, critical and good, is this based on, like, what are the parameters? Is this something you set within your own product, or is it based on something defined in Teams? Because there's nothing really in the back end that I'm aware of that. Like,
sure,
what constitutes a critical queue? Is it just, nobody in the no active agents kind of thing, or?
Yes. So you can actually set it up in terms of number of threshold in terms of how many calls are in the queue. For example, 3, 4, 5. So
Right.
you set up your own criticality to identify, or how many. Also, you can actually set it up to say.
I see.
So different type of thresholds in terms of users availability, number of alerts are being generated or whatnot.
Nice.
And also you can set, for example, if your average hold time is 20 seconds and it goes more than 20 seconds, then that can be a criticality for your business requirement. So different parameters that you can set in.
Yeah, that's a nice feature, because often, when we build call queues for customers, we never really know how effective the wait time is. Like, if we've set it too high or too low. So this is great, because you can get an idea of where you're at, because you're tracking it.
Yeah, and also, right now, I'm kind of displaying it all because nothing is checked, and which means it's all being used by default. But I can, click maybe, contracts or development, whatever, and then I can just only look at not all the call queues, but as a limited amount. Again, it all depends on number of users being available, how many have been opted in or whatnot.
So managers can have their own basically build their own dashboards as they want.
Exactly.
Okay.
Good point. And that's what most of the customers are doing. It is they are actually have, like, let's say if you are in support, then you're mainly concerned about your support queues versus somebody who is an administrative. And you can run these separate screens. And again, it's not a license restriction because it's only licensed based on number of call queues.
Thank you.
Let me take you through one more dashboard, which I think you will really enjoy. Again, it's a similar type of information, but kind of displayed differently. And what I would like to show to you here is a feature, what we call a call flow graph. And this is what I'm referring to right here, right now. In this diagram. So basically, for example, if this is my general auto attendant, and if I click on it, it can tell me actually how many calls came in, direct calls, and what was the average duration, what was the average wait time, and average peak time. So it's kind of giving me a very good perception of what really happening inside my environment in the call queues. Then you can see from my main general, 1 went to the contracts queue, 4 went to the support, 6 went to sales, and 4 went to call queue administration. And that's the number 15 is what it's referring to as a redirected call. And when my customers see this feature, that's what they like the most. Because now as an administrator, they really have the direct visibility of what's going on inside their team's environment.
And with this feature, is it all based on the CDR information? So it could be 30 minutes or so, kind of. So it's not real time, but after the records are kind of updated, or how is the data in this?
Yeah, that's a very good point, Michael. It is based on CDR records. So yes, there will be some latency, but also what we have done is using our own algorithm. And that's what I kind of referred to AI earlier, using our own advanced algorithm and some intelligence to kind of determine, what's the right number needs to be. So there is some magic sauce here that we are putting in instead of just kind of displaying it from our call detailed records.
And what are the different kind of integration points that you're connecting into the tenant? So from a setup point of view, are you requiring like a service account? Is it all graph applications?
So we are supporting 100% call queue, graph APIs. We are supporting SSL as well. And as long as you're using any of Microsoft stack, any application, we are fully integrated.
And does your dashboard come in like a Teams app, so it could be surfaced within the Teams client, or is it a standalone web page?
Right now, it is a standalone web page. We are in the process of it will be launched in a few months within the Teams environment as well, because some of the customers have requested for that. But right now, it's a standalone web page.
And you said that you're also doing reporting and kind of call analytics, so outside of the auto tenants and call queues. Are you able to get as granular as to like follow a call end to end? So it went into an auto tenant, rang a call queue, an agent picked it up, transferred it to someone's voicemail?
Yes. In fact, actually, that's also available in this as a summary on this dashboard. For example, let me just go back to, but as part of the reporting, yes, that feature is also available. So here, for example, I can see how many calls came into the sale. So 6 were inbound, 1 was answered, and 1 was missed, and then 4 actually went to the overflow because they were probably after hours. So as a part of business, out of these, 4 were inbound, 4 came in, 1 was answered me, 1 left a message after hours, and 3 they decided to disconnect. So yes, and then of course you can see who is the attendant or auto attendant on the other side and how long it took for them to answer. And as part of the reporting function, yes, you can. I can go through the detail. I can just generate some of the reports. And the beauty is that these reports can actually load automatically into your shared drive as well, OneDrive. So again, I'm looking at here, all the call came in. Yeah, these are all our employees. So yes, we can display their names, but you have an option to decide if you want to display the name or not. You can hide it as well as the phone numbers. So you can get a full call information in terms of the talk time and any other details. On the item or feature we're also providing, which has come from our customer, is different financing and accounting, because a lot of customers are actually charging different departments based on, that, hey, at the end of the month, each department gets charged differently based on their usage. And that's what we are actually doing, is actually keeping track of the actual talk time and then the total cost. And for some reason, the screen is not showing fully, but anyway, it's kind of showing on the right side some of the information in terms of dollars and values that can be backtracked to the customers or to the different individual departments.
From here, can you drill down into the individual calls?
Not from the report, but I can drill down from the dashboard, yes. So for example, I can, let me just pick up on agents. And I believe for that, I probably have to go back to the reporting to see, run different reports to see what's going on in terms of the call coming in.
And then you said that most of the sales is kind of the SaaS service or the cloud service. Are customers able to bring their own data source for all this CDRs, or is it just kind of
Yeah,
you're hosting the data?
that's a good point, Michael. This has come up a couple of times from customers, and right now it is only data that is coming through my MS Teams. Customers are not able to modify the report or use their own CDR data, because that means we have to kind of train them with a bunch of rules and tokens, and good point, but yeah, we are not doing that today.
Naqi, I got a chance to meet a couple of the folks at CommsV Next, and we were kind of talking about the possibility of, we were talking about like how Microsoft's now introducing the management of call queues and auto attendance to non-administrators, and I wasn't clear if that was something you do today or you're thinking about doing, perhaps. Like, are you able to modify and change call queues and auto attendance from this app, or is it more just for reporting at this point? And
no, we are able to do that. My system is not set up for call queue management, but we are able to do that from the system. So you can not only change the voice recording or whatnot, but you can add additional features, modify additional features. You don't have to go to a Teams administrator. And if you have the appropriate rights set up, then you can do it from the app.
so like technically you could delegate all aspects of a call queue or an auto attendant to a non-administrator, and they could go in and modify the members, the time values, that type of thing.
I think the way we have done it is not all, but you can decide which features you want somebody to change. Otherwise, it will be pretty scary. So yeah, so based on.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying based on roles and responsibility, yes, they will have permission to change certain features, unless you want to give somebody all. But I would suggest that should only be for the administrator.
It's good to know. I think more and more users seem to be asking about, hey, I'm not an admin. I don't want to submit a ticket to make these changes. So orgs seem interested in delegating some, if not even all. I mean, granted, you give more permissions and there's more opportunity for the user to make a mistake. But these are the kinds of things that I'm hearing, at least, that they want a little bit more power per admin, maybe the team owner.
Especially what users are finding most useful is the ability to add users, for example, right? I need to be able to add users. I need to be able to delete users. Need to be able to add them to a different shift, right? I don't have to go to raise a Jira ticket and get those things done. I should have control of my environment. And those are the capabilities that we are providing, and it's helping our customers, and also in terms of ROI, right? Because that's very powerful functionality. Because if I'm running my call center, I need to be able to say, okay, these 3 people will be working at 8 in the morning, so I need to be able to assign them or remove them from the shift or whatever the case may be. So yes, so using that feature, you can do it right from the MoYoBi's environment.
And Naqi, just looking at this solution here, I know of a couple solutions that are sort of similar in the market. Is there a specific niche or a specific set of customers or verticals which you find are really successful or really get a lot of value out of your solution compared to other types of scenarios?
Yeah, that's a very good point. What customers like the most, as I was kind of alluding to earlier, is definitely the graph flow feature. And yes, there are a lot of similar solutions out there in the market, but I think what's kind of differentiating us is the flow graph capability, and being able to see exactly what's going on into my system. And if I need to get more details, I can of course run reports and get the details about the user community. I think this is definitely creating a distinctive feature for us. And the other one is being able to upload my reports automatically to OneDrive. And so the system is very tightly integrated with the Microsoft environment.
Got it. Very good. If someone out there is interested in trialing this solution, do you guys have, I don't know, like a free 30-day trial, or should they just reach out and contact yourself or someone from sales?
Yeah, definitely. Sales@moyobi.com is a good email address. And also we do offer 30-day trial. We Yeah, it's available to any customer.
All right. In that that trials, it all the features are enabled, or do they sort of restrict the features?
Good point. So all the features are enabled except call queue management,
Okay.
because we want to make sure that they can play with the system, understand it before they start changing of setting for call queues, and then nothing works for them. So yes,
Right.
so everything for call analytics and for queue monitoring and analysis will be available except for call queue management, unless they are very seasoned. Then yes, we will provide them with that capability. But by default, it will be turned off.
Got it. All right. I just wanted to ask one last question. Looking at the different products you offer on your website, you do have recording solutions. It's under this banner of Redbox software. Is that a
Mhm.
partnership with another company, or is that
It's a partnership with Redbox. Yeah.
okay? And is that supported for Microsoft Teams?
Right now, it is not supported for Microsoft Teams. For recording, we'll rely on Microsoft Teams recording capabilities.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, any other questions from any of the other O365 folks?
We just wanted, just for the folks for the recording, our listeners, the acronym MoYoBi stands for.
Mind your business intelligence.
Thank you.
Good one. And if you would have told me, I would have wore a red shirt as well.
Okay.
All right. Well, Naqi, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for demoing your solution. Looks great, and yeah, really interesting to see the solution. And actually, I'm looking forward to giving it a go in my test tenant. So, thanks again for coming on, and we'll reach out to you later. Thanks.
That sounds great. Thanks, Curtis.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Thanks, Tino. Appreciate it. Thanks, Abhi. Michael.